Take a good, hard look at your life right now. Is this really it? The scrolling, the maybe next week, the constant waiting for a version of you that doesn't exist yet? You think you're relaxing. You think you're just passing time. But you've got it backwards. Time is passing you, and it's not coming back. You've been sold a lie. You've been told you have plenty of time. But every tomorrow you promise yourself is just another brick in a wall you're building around your own grave. You're treating your life like a dress rehearsal. But the play is already in the final act. Right now, there is a version of you that is already dead. A version of you that wasted every single today until there were none left. That person isn't a stranger. That's who you're becoming every time you choose the comfort of a screen over the pain of progress. The clock isn't ticking for fun. It's counting down. Every second this video plays, you are closer to the end than you were when it started. You aren't watching a video. You're watching your life evaporate. Stop waiting for a sign. Stop waiting for the right mood. The soil is already hitting the casket. Do you hear that? That's the sound of your potential dying. Let's talk about how to stop digging. You're still here. Why? Because you're waiting for the click. You're waiting for that magical moment where something I say finally makes it all make sense. But that's the first trap. You're looking for a reason to move, while the parasite in your brain is already busy making sure you stay exactly where you are. Let's talk about that parasite. Its name is maybe, and it's currently eating you from the inside out. Most people think procrastination is a habit. It's not. It's a predator. In psychology, we call this the Zeigarnik effect, the way your brain hangs onto unfinished tasks like an open wound. But there's a darker, more predatory version of this. When you tell yourself, maybe I'll start that business next month, or maybe I'll get fit when things settle down, your brain does something truly evil. It gives you the reward for free. When you envision a future you who is successful, fit, and happy, your brain releases a hit of dopamine. You feel a warm glow. You feel proud. You feel satisfied. But you haven't done anything. You've just tricked your nervous system into thinking the goal is already achieved. This is substitution theory. You are literally getting high on the idea of a life you haven't earned. And maybe is the drug dealer. Maybe is the most dangerous word in the English language because it doesn't sound like a no. If you said, no, I'm never going to chase my dreams, the pain would be so sharp it would force you to change. But maybe is a soft pillow. It's a slow-acting sedative. It allows you to watch your life waste away without the discomfort of admitting you've given up. Think about that project you've been planning for 2 years. Think about that conversation you've been waiting for the right time to have. You aren't waiting. You are hostage. The parasite of maybe feeds on your fear of failure. It whispers, if you don't start today, you can't fail today. And if you don't fail, the dream is still alive. It convinces you that a perfect, unlived dream is better than a messy, real-world attempt. It turns you into a collector of potential. And do you know what we call people with a lot of potential who never used it? Tragedies. Look at your someday list. It's not a list. It's an obituary for the person you were supposed to become. Every day you spend in the maybe zone, that parasite grows fatter and your willpower grows thinner. You are literally training your brain to be a spectator. You are conditioning your nervous system to find safety in the loading screen of life. Here is the dark truth. The right time is a ghost. It's a hallucination designed by your ego to protect you from the humiliation of being a beginner. You are waiting for a version of yourself that has more courage, more money, or more energy. But courage is a muscle that atrophies in the dark. By waiting for courage, you are ensuring you will never have it. You think you have time to decide. But not deciding is a decision. Every hour you spend in the maybe loop is a vote for a life of regret. You are currently building a monument to what could have been. The parasite doesn't want you to be miserable. It just wants you to be still. Because as long as you are still, you are easy to consume. As long as you are waiting for maybe, you aren't a threat to the status quo. You're just another battery, powering a system that thrives on your indecision. Stop waiting for the maybe to turn into a yes. It won't. It will only turn into a never. You think this paralysis is your fault, don't you? You think you're just lazy or unmotivated. That's the most successful lie they ever told you. You aren't failing by accident. You are being engineered to fail. While you're sitting there in the maybe zone, someone else is counting the profit. You aren't just a person who's wasting time. You're a product being harvested. Welcome to the factory. We live in a world that is terrified of you waking up. Why? Because a focused, disciplined human being is impossible to sell things to. A person who knows the value of their time doesn't spend 4 hours a day scrolling through a digital graveyard. This is the economy of the ghost. The platforms you use, the media you consume, the trends you follow. They are all designed by teams of behavioral scientists with one goal: to keep you in a state of perpetual observation. They don't want you to be the person in the video. They want you to be the ghost who watches them. Every app on your phone is a digital slot machine. It uses variable reward schedules, the same psychology that keeps a gambling addict at a machine until their bank account hits zero. They give you just enough dopamine to keep you from leaving, but never enough to make you feel fulfilled. Because if you were fulfilled, you'd put the phone down. And if you put the phone down, they lose. You aren't the customer. You are the biofuel. Think about the ghost lifestyle. You spend your morning watching someone else eat healthy. You spend your afternoon watching someone else build a business. You spend your evening watching someone else fall in love. You are experiencing life through a glass screen, absorbing the synthetic light of other people's achievements while your own reality remains dark and cold. This is vicarious living, and it's a form of psychological castration. The world wants you to be a ghost because ghosts are predictable. Ghosts stay in their lane. Ghosts buy things to fill the void left by their unlived dreams. If you actually started that business, if you actually fixed your body, if you actually took control of your time, you'd stop needing their distractions. You'd become a threat to the status quo. They have engineered a society where attention is currency. Every time you check out for an hour, you are literally transferring the wealth of your life force into the pockets of billionaires who would never dream of wasting their time the way you waste yours. They sell you connectivity while you become more isolated. They sell you information while you become more paralyzed. This is learned helplessness on a global scale. Look at your digital footprint. It's a trail of wasted hours, a map of everywhere you went when you should have been moving forward. You've been conditioned to fear silence, because in the silence, you might hear the voice of your own potential screaming to get out. So you drown it out with noise. You turn on a podcast while you shower, a video while you eat, music while you walk. You are never alone with your thoughts, because your thoughts are a reminder that you are currently a ghost haunting your own life. They've made waiting feel like preparing. They've made consumption feel like research. They've convinced you that you need one more tutorial, one more book, one more sign before you can act. But the sign is already here. It's the grey hair in the mirror, the ticking of the clock, and the sinking feeling in your gut that the best years of your life are being traded for pixels. You are being haunted by the person you could have been, and the world is charging you a subscription fee to watch it happen. You think you're alone in this room? You're not. There is someone standing right behind you, watching you read this. They've been following you for years, silent and invisible, waiting for the moment you finally run out of tomorrows. They aren't a stranger. They are the person you are currently creating with your indecision. Close your eyes for a second. Can you feel the cold? That's the inheritance you're building. Let's meet the person you're about to become. Most people think regret is a feeling that happens at the very end. They think it's a peaceful, cinematic reflection. It's not. Regret is a living shadow. It is the debt you incur every time you choose later over now, and the interest rates are predatory. Imagine yourself 40 years from today. You are sitting in a chair. Your body is a cage of aches and limitations, and your mind is a library of what-ifs. That version of you, the legacy version, is looking back at this exact moment. They are looking at your healthy heart, your functioning brain, and the hours of freedom you currently have. And they are furious. In psychology, we call this intertemporal discord. There is a massive disconnect between who you are now and who you will be. You treat your future self like a stranger you don't like. You dump all your hard work on them. Future me will handle the diet. Future me will start the side hustle. You are essentially a bully, forcing a frail, older version of yourself to do the heavy lifting you're too cowardly to do today. But here is the dark twist. The future. You doesn't have the strength you have now. You are handing a 100-pound weight to a person with broken arms and expecting them to lift it. Think about the silent erasures. Every day you waste, a door slams shut somewhere in your future. There is a day coming where you will pick up your child for the last time. There is a day coming where you will have your last good idea before your cognitive decline sets in. There is a day where you will look at a sunset and realize you no longer have the mobility to go out and stand under it. You are currently inheriting a fortune of time, and you are squandering it on the digital equivalent of pocket lint. Let's get darker. Think about the people you love. You think they'll always be there to witness your eventual success. But they are on a clock, too. Regret isn't just about what you didn't do for yourself. It's about the people you failed to become for them. How many tomorrows does your mother have left? Your father? Your partner? Every time you choose to grind on a video game or sink into a social media trance, you are gambling with the limited time you have left with them. You are assuming the universe will keep them paused in amber until you finally decide to be ready. It won't. The universe is a machine that grinds everything to dust, and it doesn't care about your intentions. The inheritance of regret is the realization that your potential has an expiration date. Potential is like fruit. If you don't use it, it rots. And once it rots, it doesn't just go away. It stays in your house, stinking up every room, reminding you of what you could have tasted if you'd just been brave enough to bite. When you're lying in that bed at the end, the ghost of the person you could have been will be standing there. They will show you the books you didn't write, the bodies you didn't build, and the lives you didn't touch. They will look at you with the eyes of a person you buried through neglect. That is your inheritance. Not money, not fame, not peace. Just the cold, hard weight of knowing that you had the keys to the kingdom in your hands today, right now, and you traded them for a few more minutes of comfortable numbness. You aren't just running out of time. You are running out of you. We've talked about the parasite. We've talked about the social trap. We've talked about the ghost of your future self. But there's one word you haven't let yourself truly hear yet. You've avoided it your whole life. You've wrapped it in laters and eventuallys. But it's time to strip the skin off the truth. The word isn't tomorrow. The word is never. And for most of the things you claim to care about, never has already arrived. In psychology, there is a phenomenon called the illusion of continuity. Your brain is hardwired to believe that life is a straight line that goes on forever. But life isn't a line. It's a series of rooms, and the doors are locking behind you as you walk through them. Think about the last times. This is the darkest part of the human experience because we almost never know when a last time is happening. There was a day when you and your childhood friends went outside to play for the very last time. No one announced it. There was no closing ceremony. You just went inside, and that chapter of your life was deleted forever. There was a last time your parents picked you up and held you. There will be a last time you see the person you love most in this world. Never is the only thing in this universe that is truly permanent. You are currently living in a house fire, and you're worried about which channel is on the TV. Every hour you spend waiting for the right conditions is an hour you are surrendering to the void. You think you're saving your energy for a big moment. But energy doesn't store, it evaporates. The version of you that is 25 is gone. The version of you that is 30 is dying. You are a different person every decade, and if you don't use the specific gifts of this age, they are gone to never. Let's look at the grief of the living. Most people think grief is for the dead, but the most bitter grief is for the parts of yourself you allowed to die while you were still breathing. It's the realization that you will never know what it feels like to be at your physical peak, because you chose the couch. You will never know what it feels like to be truly free, because you chose the security of a boring job. This is the sunk cost fallacy of the soul. You've already wasted so much time that it feels too late to start, so you waste more time to numb the pain of being late. You are spiraling into never. You tell yourself, I'll do it when I'm ready. Let me tell you a secret. Ready is a lie told by cowards. Evolution didn't design you to feel ready. It designed you to feel fear, so you would stay in the cave where it's safe. If you wait for the fear to go away, you will wait until the day they put you in the ground. Fear is the only compass that points toward a life worth living. If you aren't terrified, you aren't growing. And if you aren't growing, you are already part of the never. The clock isn't your friend, it's an auditor. And right now your account is overdrawn. You have spent years on maybe, and the bank of never is coming to collect. Think about the thing you want most. Now say it out loud, but add the words, will never happen. I will never start that business. I will never see the world. I will never be proud of the man in the mirror. Does that burn? Does it make your stomach turn? That's the only honest feeling you've had all day. That's the truth trying to wake you up before the never becomes absolute. The door is closing. Can you hear the hinges creaking? The gap is getting smaller. You have exactly enough time to squeeze through, but only if you stop carrying the weight of your excuses. Never is waiting for you to stay still for just one more day. Don't give it the satisfaction. Now let's talk about your favorite drug. It's not dopamine. It's not even the maybe we talked about earlier. It's the narcissism of small comforts. You've convinced yourself that because you had a hard day, you deserve to waste your night. You've turned your own exhaustion into a trophy. You think you're being kind to yourself by choosing the path of least resistance. But let's call it what it actually is. Self-sabotage disguised as self-care. In dark psychology, there's a concept called the comfort trap. It's the same tactic used in long-term brainwashing. You make the subject comfortable. You give them small, meaningless rewards, a warm bed, a mindless scroll, a sugary snack, until they lose the will to escape their cage. You are doing this to yourself. You are your own captor, and you're using comfort as the handcuffs. Think about the sheer ego it takes to believe you can afford to be comfortable. You are a biological organism in a world of limited resources and infinite competition, and you think you have the luxury of chilling? That's not relaxation. That's atrophy. Every hour you spend decompressing from a life you don't even like is an hour you spend making sure you never leave it. You're addicted to the feeling of being almost there. You like the vibe of being a dreamer, but you hate the weight of being a doer. So you settle for the small comfort. You'd rather be a king in a world of pixels than a student in the world of reality. This is the complex of the loser. You think the world owes you a right time or a fair shot. It doesn't. The world owes you nothing but a grave. While you're protecting your energy and waiting to feel 100%, the people who actually win are out there working at 10% in the rain with a fever because they know that comfort is just a fancy word for stagnation. Your small comforts are the nails in your potential. Every cheat day that turns into a cheat month, every one more episode, it's all part of a slow, painless suicide. You are trading your destiny for a blanket and a bag of chips. The most narcissistic thing you can do is assume that your future self will somehow forgive you for the time you're stealing from them right now. They won't. They will look back at your comfort and see it for what it was. Cowardice. You aren't being soft on yourself. You're being cruel to the person you were meant to be. Most people finish a video like this and feel a spark. They feel a rush of blood and think, yes, today is the day. But here's the dark reality. That feeling is a lie. It's just another hit of dopamine. Within 10 minutes, that spark will cool. Within an hour, it'll be a flicker. By tomorrow morning, it'll be ash, and you'll be right back here, hunting for another video to make you feel alive again. The perfect time you're waiting for. It just passed while I was talking. The better version of you. He's dying of neglect because you refuse to give him air. This is the mercy killing of your excuses. I am turning off the lights now. When this screen goes black, don't look for the next video. Don't check your phone to see who liked your existence. Look at the reflection in the dark glass. Look at that person. That is the only person who can save you, and they are currently running out of air. You have two choices. 1. Forget everything you just heard and sink back into the warmth of the tomorrow trap. 2. Stand up and prove that you aren't just a ghost in a machine. The countdown is over. The soil is settled. The rest is up to you. Go.